there's nothing.
Well, that's how you start a show.
What is up, everybody, and welcome into the DNVR Nuggets studio.
Whoop, 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 whoop. It's a Friday.
It's an immaculate vibes Friday.
It's
That's
first
a phrase
Friday.
that
It's first
we
round
alone
Eve.
know.
It's been a week. It's been a week, guys, and it is coming to a close. It's been an eventful one. It's been a fun one.
I had a good time this week, man. Sometimes when the Nuggets aren't playing,
It's fun.
content can be, a bit of a slog. But this week it was fun, man. It was fun to hang out with you guys.
It was, and I'll be honest, man, it was a good reset before the playoffs began.
Like, can we have this week off before the playoffs every year?
Every year? I think we will.
I'm so down for it.
Assuming you don't fall to the play-in, I think we will.
Yeah, just avoid the play-in and get a nice week to chill.
Beautiful. Fast forward like 2 years, and the play-in is just like for every team that didn't make the top six. And it's a month long.
Which is every
Yeah.
team that's not the Lakers.
Yeah.
Like, we need to rectify
Or
this.
the playoffs so successful that they just expand it, so it's like only the top four are locked in.
Yeah. They'll just-
Everybody else is a play-in.
Yeah, or they'll just be like, LeBron, what should we do?
Yeah.
Obviously, whatever you want. Yeah. Everyone else in a play-in, we just eliminate it. What are we doing?
The competition committee is just the owners and LeBron.
Well, I do think about the Utah Jazz right now. Not that this show is about pitting the Utah Jazz, but imagine that they don't know who they play right now. And the
Yeah.
difference between Memphis and Golden State is so wide that Denver has had all week to sort of prepare. Like, okay, here's what we're doing.
Totally.
Same with Portland and come up with a plan. And Utah's just sitting there like, I don't know, we either have to really step out on Steph Curry or really drop on Ja Morant.
Right.
I'm not sure what we're going to do yet.
It does suck, but also, like, who cares?
That's a great
Screw
point.
them.
I agree with that. So we're presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download it right now. They have a lot of it's fun, man. They have a lot of promos going on right now for the NBA playoffs. A little
Every time I
parlay-
get on there, it's like 33%
Yeah, big
profit
boost.
boost.
Yeah.
Like profit boost here, profit boost there.
Yeah, I got to say, like, sports betting, sometimes you hear, like, people have mixed emotion or mixed feelings on it. Like, it really just makes sports more fun. Like, you should not go into it thinking you're going to make a substantive amount of money or, like, you should whatever.
unless you're me.
Unless you're at, I mean, you certainly can, but like, dude, like
Big units.
get in, like, and DraftKings wants you to get involved. Like, they're giving you money. They're giving you a seed
Yeah,
here.
you
to
do
start.
not have to be a degenerate to
No,
benefit
dude, it's
from,
like,
what
nor
they're
should you.
throwing
Do
your
not
way.
become a degenerate, but
Yeah.
just, it's fun to, at the end of the games, be like, man, is Jokic going to get this last rebound? Like, this game has been over for
So
3
fun.
quarters. It's so
Yeah.
fun.
So you guys, I'm not even going to introduce that. I got Brendan
Thanks. Hey,
wearing the all black. It's a funeral for the regular season.
that's right, baby. That's right.
Okay. I got Harrison Wind.
Well, I feel like we have our aesthetic back.
We
if,
do have
if
our
we
aesthetic.
had ever lost it.
I
We're all
never
in
lose
very
it.
neutral, muted colors.
Navy blue T-shirt, blue
Yeah.
jeans. Kill
You're
shots.
going with the blue on blue. Vogt's got the black on black. I've got the gray on gray.
Oh wow. And then
I'm sort of a mixture of all of you.
Oh,
We're all
yeah, you
colorblind.
are.
I've got black, gray, and blue.
Yeah, there you go. So here is the entire
Fashion
full squad. Later in the
I'm
show,
literally
we're going to
a
be hearing
designer.
from a Portland fan. We actually have a Portland fan live in studio. We're going to kind of share the perspective of Portland fans
Looking forward to
coming
that,
in.
yeah.
We're also going to what else is on the docket, guys? Do you guys remember?
It's
a good
Eric's
question.
birthday today.
Yeah, Eric's birthday. We'll probably
my
talk
birthday.
about that.
Nobody cares about that.
No,
probably
I
talk-
certainly don't want to talk about that.
Are you sure?
We have 2 segments.
Hurricane Teabag.
Thanks, bro.
The legendary Hurricane
Eric's
Teabag.
like, yeah, good joke, man.
Joke's on me. Thanks for the cash.
And of course, we're going to play some over-unders, preview the series that way. But first, I want to talk about the news that just dropped. Austin Rivers, questionable. He is questionable for tomorrow night's game with an illness. Now,
Non-COVID related illness.
non-COVID related illness. Now, 9 times out of 10, when a player is listed as questionable, especially with an illness, they end up playing.
Yeah.
The question almost becomes, well, obviously, will he play? Sure, that's a possibility. But the question comes like, did he not practice today? Did he not
Right.
practice yesterday?
Right.
Well, he hasn't been in any of the photos that the team's been releasing.
Wow.
Just a little conspiracy corner there.
A little
Wind chime.
conspiracy corner.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, there you go. Yeah, now we're really,
Unreal.
really unreal. Honestly, though, Vogt, how does this affect things?
It does. I
It
mean,
does,
it probably
for
won't
sure.
linger, I think, beyond game 1, assuming this is just a passing illness.
A regular illness?
Yeah, but I was sort of not loving, but liking Austin Rivers defensively on CJ McCollum. No, I just
Oh,
mean
I see. Oh, I
specifically
see.
in that
I
arena.
see.
You definitely would prefer to have him. There's no doubt. But I actually think while there was no Gary, there was no stopper. In some ways, maybe this team was better set up than it has been in the past. to not scramble chasing these guys around. Like Facu and Rivers isn't terrible defensively. No Rivers in game 1. Obviously, it affects the way you prepare, which might have a ripple effect throughout the series rather. But it's tough. I'm scared of CJ now in game 1.
And Barton and Dozier are both ruled out. We thought maybe Barton would come back for this one. He is listed as out for game 1.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Barton until like the back half of this series if he comes back. Austin Rivers, him potentially not playing is huge because he's like a big part of this team now, which is crazy.
Hilarious.
But he's very important to this team because if you look at the other guards that the Nuggets have, Marcus Howard, Shaq Harrison.
It's wild. That's it.
Literally it.
That's it. That's
There's
the end
no
of the
one
list.
else. That's it.
And so let's say Austin's out and you start Shaq. What does the bench look like then?
Yeah, he's literally a
Monte
starter.
Marcus?
Austin Rivers is literally
you do have Monte. Yeah, you could go Facu
I
Monte.
forgot. Yeah,
Monte's
that's
back.
right.
Yeah, Monte. My bad.
For analysts.
You're not gonna start Monte. I mean, maybe you start Facu Monte. They're clearly the best two players. Honestly, where do you start if Austin Rivers is for whatever reason ruled out, or if it's just like, hey man, we've only got 15 minutes from Austin Rivers tonight. Sick as a dog. Don't want him around the team.
I would probably go Monte.
And just start Facu Monte.
Yeah.
Oh, that scares me, brother.
Yeah, I would probably go Monte. And then, your first sub of the game, maybe you take Monte out, slide MPJ up to the 2 so Monte can run the bench.
Yeah, the thing is that those are two diminutive guards, but that's what they're going up against. Dame and CJ are not towering individuals.
They're small.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
Austin Rivers is obviously the best option, but it's not like if you put Monte on CJ and Facu on Dame, it's just like we're completely.
It's also funny that we're a week removed from Monte not playing, and all of a sudden now it's like, 38 minutes. Like, we just need you to play nonstop. Yeah. And by the way, guard 2 dynamic players. That is also a risk. Maybe it is Monte. I mean, when it's the playoffs, you worry a little bit less about that second unit. You're probably going to play guys a lot of minutes. There's only one night off between these first 2 games, but I feel like that's enough. There's no travel. It might just be a heavy minute total. I could also see if Austin Rivers wasn't available, Denver playing big. This is what happened once earlier this month when they were forced to, were you going to put in Marcus Howard? Nah, let's just play let's play enormous and see what happens there.
I mean, in my mind, the only other option is that you slide Shaq Harrison into the starting unit just for defensive in that Torrey Craig role.
Which defensively, okay, that makes a ton of sense. But then you're talking about 3 shooters in Facu, Shaq, and Gordon that the defense would willingly help off of, gladly help off.
I mean, even if they were to slide Monte in there, they're still bigger than Portland because Portland's got a really small starting 5. They got Powell at the 3, Covington at the 4. So even if they go with a smaller backcourt, Denver does, they're still going to be bigger than Portland.
So do you just, when you say big, MPJ down to the 2, Paul starts at power forward? Or
like something like that. And it's funny because it would become an extreme style fight. You have a bunch of like dribble drive penetration from Portland. That's what they do. And then if you went big, it'd be like, that's a little bit nerve wracking. But, again, Denver's just so low on options. I also wonder, one of the advantages Denver has had, in my opinion, over the last 6 weeks is teams don't know how to scout them. Because they've changed on the fly and they've been successful at it, but teams haven't really put together. And I worried about going into a series, now that you had a whole week for Terry Stotts to game plan for him, do you come up with something? But if Denver throws a curveball out of nowhere and it's like, hey, JaVale McGee is starting now, and they're like, wait, what? Like, now Covington is on McGee? Like, hold on. What is going on here? Like, we're
just going to get every single rebound.
Yeah, you could. I mean, honestly, this is such a big part of their game. They are a very good rebounding team. And by the way, and hopefully I'll have the episode of the list, been going back compiling videos. I think I got like 10 so far. It'll probably be like a mega episode that drops tomorrow. But one of the things I noticed from watching the most revealing game to me was the second game.
Right.
Nuggets were without Jamal Murray already.
Yep.
Will Barton was still there and actually made a pretty good impact in that game. But you kind of look of like, okay, how are these guys going to match up? The main piece is how are they going to match up? One of the things Denver did in that game was play through Aaron Gordon in the post more than they have, I think, at any other point. And you might remember we talked about it there, and I was just kind of like, when that game happened, you weren't thinking strategically. You were just like, man, Gordon kept going to the post tonight. Was that? You go back and rewatch it, and you're like, oh, this was deliberate for a couple of reasons. Nurkic guards Jokic out on the perimeter. Now they don't have a rim protector. They're already small. Their secondary rim protector is Robert Covington, who at times would be guarding Michael Porter. So now he's out on the perimeter. So who's your rim protector? Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, while Norman Powell battles Aaron Gordon. Now,
and didn't was that the game where Aaron Gordon like drew 3 fouls right off the bat?
He did draw a bunch of fouls.
Yeah.
So, and here's the thing. Aaron Gordon, I don't love him as a scorer in the post,
Right.
and Portland was pretty good about not overcommitting. Even when he would get switches, they'd run a quick little pin down. Damian Lillard would switch onto him, and they'd post him up. And Aaron Gordon, like, maybe 50-50 on those. It wasn't great. But the thing is, they're already not a great defensive team. You take Nurkic out of the equation because of Jokic. You take Covington out because of MPJ. All of a sudden, like, you're just going to score off of, like, who else is left to guard. Those guys are in bad spots. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did try to play in the post a little bit more. And maybe Michael Malone does get a wild hair where he's like, you know what, Paul Millsap, go in there. Robert Covington, we're going to make Covington guard the ball, Nurkic guard out in the perimeter, and let's see if Norman Powell can protect the rim
Right.
behind you.
Right.
Probably not.
If you get Robert Covington in foul trouble, like who do the Blazers turn to?
Derek
defensively?
Jones Jr., who hasn't played very
Yeah,
much.
who's not in the rotation, who
Yeah.
hasn't been for a while. Like Portland is so bad defensively where I think Denver can get creative like that. I think they can try some stuff. You know, maybe throw JaVale and Nikola Jokic out there together, get Aaron Gordon in the post. If Denver is creative and runs its offense, I think it's going to be able to score on Portland pretty easily.
Yeah.
Even though Nuggets are obviously down so many guys.
I do think with that Gordon angle we were just talking about, the hope is probably foul trouble, right? And spreading them thin that way.
Also, just getting Aaron Gordon some confidence.
Something,
like
yeah.
if you get him a look early and he gets to the line or he gets an easy basket right off the bat, that's going to put him in just a good headspace.
So let's get into this because this is one of my questions for you: is who is the X factor? And for me, you know, Jokic and Porter are going to be X factors because I expect so much of them. Like if they're bad, the Nuggets are going to lose the series if one of those two guys just has a bad series. But figuring those two guys are at least going to be their averages. To me, the next X factor really is Aaron Gordon because of what a pivotal role and how much I think Denver is going to try. Not to say play through him is not correct. Like they're going to play through Jokic, they're going to play through Facu, they're going to play through the guys that handle the ball. But I do think they're going to play through him a lot more than what they usually do because of what it does to Portland's defense.
Yeah, he's going to have to be the Nuggets' third leading scorer on most nights, I think. And he's going to have to shoot a high percentage. I think I said this on the show a couple days ago or last week, but I think there could be a lot of games this series where Aaron Gordon goes like 7 of 10 from the field, 7 of 11, where he just gets a lot of easy buckets within Denver's offense, just moving, cutting, because I don't think Portland's defense is built to guard Denver. They're just not. They don't have the personnel. No. They're not high IQ enough. So I think Gordon has to be that guy. I do.
Yeah, I really want to see Denver take advantage of Carmelo Anthony. Like whether that comes through Gordon, whether that comes through Millsap, whether that comes through JaMychal Green. Like to me, like that matchup is the X factor.
It's that would be best. Like last year, it was Montrezl Harrell. That was like, for whatever reason, Doc kept playing him, but it was so clear that he was the mark. Like when he's on the court,
we know why he kept playing him.
But it would be great if that was Melo this year. If it was like, man, every time Melo's on the floor, you can't play him because his defensive rating is 140 through the series so far. Yeah. And it is possible. It's also possible that his offensive rating is 140. Who's the X factor? And by the way, in the comments, let us know, and Kale will bring him up on the board, what everybody's saying.
Yeah, for the sake of variety, how about Paul Millsap?
Yeah.
Someone needs to score off the bench. As you said, he could possibly be included in some starting lineups. This isn't a terrible matchup for him. And I've liked Millsap in spot minutes off the bench, so you know he's not going to dominate anyone. But is there a quarter? Or
I disagree. I'm not picking it, but I don't say it's like a known. He's a guy. If I actually said who is going to be the third leading scorer, Millsap has a case in there for me, along with all these other guys. That says a lot more about the other guys from a scoring standpoint. But are we sure Millsap can't have a 20-point game?
Not at all.
25-point game. Like he's going to have very favorable matchups. We mentioned Carmelo.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to have at least a quarter. I think, if not a full game, where you go, man,
that's probably more accurate.
Millsap turned that tide.
Well, you just don't know because it's not at all off the table that Paul Millsap has been conserving energy.
I mean, I would say it's almost likely.
Right. Like, and so we've seen him spring to life a few times down the stretch here where he was actually needed. In my mind, though, like the X factor, and it's crazy, I would have said Austin Rivers. Like Austin Rivers. Like I hope that he plays. I really hope that he plays because that is a position that like I know that Portland isn't thinking about. They're not thinking about stopping Austin Rivers, but we know that he has it in him to get absolutely microwave hot. Like if he starts draining him from three, and then all of a sudden they have to start really paying attention to him. Jokic has more room to operate. Like that to me unlocks the entire offense.
Yeah, I think Austin Rivers is a really good one. It does make me nervous that he's this illness here.
What I'm most worried about with that second unit with Denver is rebounding, because they're going up against Enes Kanter, and if there's one thing Kanter does, it's just absolutely crash the glass.
So does this have to be a McGee series then?
So what's interesting about when I went back and watched is it was Millsap, J-Mike. They went with that even against Kanter, and I think it had pretty good success actually. That second unit had a good run in them. So I don't know, because I assumed the same thing. I was like, JaVale McGee probably gets the minutes here, but maybe not.
That terrifies me.
You want McGee?
No, I do not want McGee.
Oh, you don't want McGee?
No.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that in the game that second game that they played, that's what it was.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want. I love JaVale McGee as a guy. I love him as the veteran presence somehow, which is so confusing that he is again the voice of wisdom because he's been on multiple championship teams. But he's just I just don't trust him. Still,
he is tough to trust. He is a little tough to trust. I'll just say I would be very surprised if Millsap has just a huge game. I think he'll have a quarter.
Yeah.
As Vogt said, but a huge game, a 25-point game. I know he turned around the whole Clips series, but we've seen that from him so few and far between this season.
And even that was really just one quarter. It was that third quarter.
Last year, Paul Millsap was a starter. This year, his role has been so different to me where I have a tough time seeing it for a game.
Really? See,
Yeah.
I don't, man. And I wouldn't be surprised if Millsap, especially in this game one, if Austin Rivers is, not at 100%, anything less than 100% or out, I wouldn't be surprised if he played 30, 32 minutes, played starter level minutes, just because it's where else are you going to go? I mean, we just think about it logically. Shaq Harrison going to play all those minutes? Probably not. Even if he plays well, he's still probably a 25-minute per game or less guy. Marcus Howard, I just don't see playing. Even if they have to go, even if they go to I just don't know that you're going to trust Marcus Howard for heavy minutes. It's not even fair to him, quite frankly. So Monte Morris will play, Facu will play, Shaq somewhat. That means other guys are going to have to slide up and just play a lot of minutes, and I have a feeling
are we ignoring the most obvious for the X Factor?
Don't even say it. Don't.
Facu Campasso.
Oh, okay.
You can say
you can say that. No, I thought I was gonna go a longer boy, but
no, just a guy who's made his living, his reputation, his entire career off of being just an X Factor. You don't really know what to get from him. Apparently, he's going to be turned up an extra 40%.
I feel like Facu, no matter what he does, is just going to be a factor.
Well, I was going to say,
big factor.
What would it mean for him to be, in your mind, an X Factor?
Scoring. We get 18 points a game. We get 16 points a game. We get
per game. No, I could see it.
Well, I mean, we've seen it a few times. I mean, he's so off and on, but that to me says X Factor. It's something you're not anticipating that flips the dynamic of the series.
To me, it would be defensively is where he can make his impact.
I mean, he's doing that regardless.
Who guards Dame? Who guards Dame? Who guards Dame? What if the Nuggets do have an answer to that question? Now, I personally feel like Dame is going to go off more than once. That game where Facu was successful, Dame did just kind of miss some open looks. But that said, I view Facu as a high impact defender when he's playing well. So does he swing a game or two? And if he does it that way, that's really meaningful.
And I love it too, by the way, today, his media availability. Facu's like, I'm so nervous. It's just he's so anti, and all the Euros that come over here. And I love it, and we love it on the show because in some markets, it'd be like, he admitted fear. What a loser.
He's not an alpha.
He's not an alpha? Yeah, is he a beta? What's going on here? But, that's what I love about just how dumb we talk about sports over here. So when guys come over here, I'm not supposed to be honest. I have no fear, and I am only angry.
It's okay to have a little nervousness. It's okay.
Well, that's what was funny is because then he immediately follows it up and he's like, I'm so nervous, but I'm always nervous before playoffs or anything last year, Europe or something. And I was just like,
I love that.
Yeah, I did too. It's wow,
awesome.
He's a human being. Great. That's awesome.
He's one of us.
He's one of us.
Well, let's not go that far.
Another X factor in this series to me.
We are all taller than him.
Is Norman Powell, who shot 41% from three this season, has allowed them to play what they, are somewhat, I guess, essentially 3-guard lineup. And how is he used defensively?
That's the thing to me.
And the dynamic you brought up, in terms of maybe Denver trying to push some pressure on him is interesting. Do they put Powell on MPJ and Covington roams, which they did in that last game? I'm not so sure about that, but there are questions about how Powell is used. And then also, how does Denver either A, limit him, or B, take advantage of Portland's willingness to play him?
So hold on, Norman Powell. I was looking this up last night because I sent out this tweet that pretty much compared Michael Porter Jr.'s points per touch to Klay Thompson's from 2016-17. Norman Powell is also among the leaders in points per touch. Like, the guy is super, super efficient.
Yeah.
He just scores. He's like kind of mini MPJ-esque.
Right.
So he's dangerous.
Yeah.
MPJ Junior. MPJJ.
The last thing that I will say, this isn't a player that's an X factor, but it's a thing that is, I think, among the biggest X factors. Nikola Jokic's 3-point shooting. Because Denver is going to have a hard time spacing the court, and Nurkic can't guard Jokic all over the court. He can only guard him inside, and even there, like, Jokic can cook him. It's just, I don't know that Denver can win this off of Jokic in the post solely. Like, they have to find some variety. I don't know if they're going to find great pick and roll. They might find good pick and roll play. I don't know if they'll find great pick and roll, but you can really punish him by making Jokic a 3-point shooter. And not just 3-point shooter. I think he might need to take volume shots in this series. You know, be comfortable taking 5 a game, maybe even 6 a game, and knocking down above 40%. And if in this first game he can have some, like a 4 for 6 3-point night, I think that not only does Denver win, but I think it forces Portland to be like, screw it. He's a 40% playoff 3-point shooter. We have to treat him like Dirk Nowitzki.
My only pushback on that is I think the efficiency, like 38% plus, is a lock. It's a lot. I think he shot so well all year. That's how he shoots in the playoffs. He just got that week off. So I know the 3-point shot was dipping, but he got that mental and physical rest. And as he said before, he thinks less in the postseason, which sounds counterintuitive, but he does. And that 3-point shot falls. How the volume shooting, getting him good looks, that's the big question. But him knocking down open threes.
Here's the thing, though. If he's not getting good looks, that's because Nurkic is playing so high on him, which is also a win.
Right,
like,
totally.
The only point, he doesn't actually need to shoot a single three if Nurkic is going to come out here. He just needs to take him off the dribble. If you guys remember that game too, Jokic had a like dribble around him dunk.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the play?
Of course. We're going to get a bunch of those.
But that's the thing. So that's why I say if I'm Portland, I probably at first say like, let's see if he can make some. We'll close out. But
look, Nikola Jokic is so impossible to defend. You've got to give up something.
Yeah.
And if I'm a defense, I'm probably giving up the 3 a little bit.
Yeah, probably at least a little bit.
I know. It's going to be funny if he starts off the games like he always does by shooting by like 6 pump fake 3-pointers.
Yeah.
Like Jokic loves to start off every game by doing 5 to 6 of those, and then finally he'll unleash one. I hope he just comes out and starts firing. I'm like, going down the stretch, I really feel like we were watching Jokic wear down just a little bit, like, because he is a human being. The fact that we have this week off, like, gives me so much, I don't know, like, I'm just so convinced that we're going to get peak Jokic coming out and just like looking like he did at the beginning of the season, just like take no prisoners.
Me too.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's why. Me too. I'll be crushed if he doesn't.
He's shooting.
But I really think he is.
He's shooting 40%.
I have more. I've always been confident. I have more confidence than ever. So
yeah, he
let's
just
see it.
did. I mean, didn't to you guys he looked just a little weary as we were heading down the stretch?
Totally.
I mean, the
Tired,
weight
yeah.
of the MVP conversation that he doesn't pay attention to, but all the same, like his performance in general was like always under the microscope as being not good enough. He doesn't listen, but like it was wearing on me.
It's impossible. it would
Like-
be impossible not to just feel it a little bit.
Totally.
Even if you don't pay attention or read or watch anything, you're still just going to feel it.
Totally. And he's pressing a little bit, like just the fact, like whoever came up with this play-in tournament deserves a raise.
They actually should be the new commissioner of the NBA.
Real quick, dude, this comment from Yosemite Ham is awesome. Crowd will be an X factor. Nuggets allowing 40%. Portland only 10. I think that matters.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally.
For sure.
I think this week off was big, and the vibes are heating up. I think Jamal Murray is back in
The vibes
Denver.
are immaculate everywhere. They're immaculate in Miami. They're
Yeah.
immaculate in Dallas.
But-
they're immaculate
yeah,
in
so
Houston.
specifically-
so surprised to see everyone so into the Nuggets.
Yeah, they are so into
Worldwide.
them. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
most
everybody's
influential site
onto
ever.
the fact that the vibes are all that matter. But in Denver,
true.
Jamal Murray is back in town. Seems like he's going to be on the bench for these first couple games. So that's going to be an emotional boost, I think.
Yeah.
The vibe's done been immaculate.
Let's take our first break. On the other side, we're going to start previewing the series by looking at some over-unders. Like real ones, real over-unders, points and then this and that.
It's not 40% though for Denver, right? What's the capacity on it?
43
Listen, if you
and a
look at
half.
if you look at the
40 something.
Avalanche games, like, and people
They
that
look
have been-
full, man.
People
Yeah.
report back that it feels like it's
I
full
can't
again.
wait. For
Dude, that's
tomorrow.
Oh, man, that first quarter is going to be like so much hype.
This is why. All right, I'm going to save it. But
All right, let's hit our first break.
Wow. There's a tease.
Guys, we got the Lawnmower 4.0. It's out. It's available. It's launched from Manscaped. The Lawnmower 4.0.
4, baby.
Show them the great work it does, Vogt.
Why do you think Vogt's been showing off the ankles so much lately? It's not a coincidence.
The new boyishly hairless ankles. Oh, wait a minute. You didn't shave those? Okay, well.
Oh, man. Yeah, you guys can get the Lawnmower 4.0. We all got them. I walked into the bar last week. Just a huge box of Lawnmower 4.0s.
Yeah.
We did.
Picked one up. It was great. Already used it. It's awesome.
Oh.
You can get yours from Manscaped, manscaped.com. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code DNVR at manscaped.com. That's very important. You have to use the code. You must use the code DNVR at manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping. Get yourself a Lawnmower 4.0. Also, if you're looking for a dentist in the Denver area, we got to recommend Green Mountain Dental Group. A lot of us here at DNVR, we go there to get everything done from teeth cleanings to wisdom teeth pulled to cavities filled. They're great people. They're great at what they do. They're Denver sports fans just like us. Denver through and through. So check out Green Mountain Dental Group, located 15 minutes from downtown Denver. Schedule a cleaning, x-ray, and exam with them and get a free Sonicare toothbrush, a top-of-the-line electric toothbrush. Again, schedule a cleaning, x-ray, and exam. Get a free Sonicare toothbrush today.
All right, back here. We're going to keep it moving. I want to
Actually, Scott Evans joke. It took me a second.
I missed it. Whatever. I want to play a couple over-unders. And the first one I want to do, this is with the Austin Rivers coming in, this one almost becomes a little bit more questionable. But the first one I have here is starting lineups. 0.5 starting lineups. Now, let me just do this so we make the game easier. I'm going to assume Austin Rivers is fully cleared to play. Not sick, not whatever. Fully cleared to play tomorrow night. Eric, over under 0.5 starting lineups for the Denver Nuggets.
Over.
2?
Over.
3?
I mean, I think all. I don't know. Like
7?
Yeah, dude. Well, 4.
Oh, there was like a spice in there somewhere. All right. I love that the Nuggets are both going to win the series in a sweep, but also change the starting lineup every night.
They're just going to do it because the vibes are so immaculate. They're going to be like, whatever.
Up 3-0, and Malone's like, we got to change. Marcus, you're out there.
just toying with him. No, I mean, honestly, I think
Malone from New York talking to Marcus.
Truthfully, like,
Neither one.
as a
makes
Boston,
sense about
nothing makes sense. No, I mean, truthfully, if Austin Rivers is healthy, like they'll ride. Like Malone loves to set it and forget it. Like I'm hoping I'm hoping that's the case. Like
funny.
where he doesn't have to make big sweeping changes because we're not having to react to something weird that Portland is doing that's throwing us off.
Yeah.
So I guess actually the opposite.
So you're going to say over, but it's just like one little move.
One, yeah.
Yeah, so 2 lineups.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably over, but I'm going to go under. Like Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic will start every play.
Yeah, like you can't not start those 3.
Nope.
Like I just don't know. Monte Morris is the biggest candidate to maybe get in there for an Austin Rivers, for a Facu. But I'll go under. I think they stick with this one.
I'll say over because I do think if they get out to a slowish start and Portland's guards are wrecking them, maybe Malone considers some sort of different look, whether that's going bigger or going to Monte. Yeah, that's the end of my answer.
Harrison made me, because I was like, this is a lock to go over. If you think back 2 years ago, San Antonio series,
There's always something.
changed it up. You go back even last year,
Utah.
changed it up. So there's always some kind of rattling of the lineup.
Right,
so I feel like it's
because they always lost the first game.
yeah, and just
Oh, they did
and
against
also
Utah.
they've needed it, right?
Yeah.
They've been like, hey, we have to adjust from what we're doing.
Guys have come back from injury.
Yeah, but Harrison makes a great point, which is like, who is it? So those 3 guys are locks.
Monte's the only one I feel
could see
like
a Monte.
that can ascend to
Yeah.
the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Unless they do the Millsap thing we talked about earlier.
Or
But I
even
guess
maybe a
unless
Barton.
Rivers
Like
is
maybe
healthy.
Barton comes back game 3, plays well 3-4, and then game
Yeah.
5 they're like, you know what, he's good enough to start, and he's our starter. We'll put him out there. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go over, but I agree. I think there's 2 starting lineups. 15-point wins, either way, either direction. 0.5. They're blowout. 15 points or more is sort of the blowout territory.
There'll be one for sure. There'll definitely be one.
I don't think there'll be any. I think
Really?
dude, this is going to be a absolute like slugfest. I feel like these two teams are going to be just right at each other. Like when I was looking at, really making my real prediction, I was like, man, like
digging into the analytics.
Well, I just like the Nuggets, but I also know that there's so little. Please, I love you guys are so proud of how you look at basketball, and we say the same things. Like, all you do is right. That's the only difference between you and I. Like, there's no difference in how we look at things, except for maybe Adam, who played. Anyway, but the point is that like. I actually lost my point. I got flustered because
Go ahead, search for it. It's somewhere. It's right around here, floating around.
There will be a
15-point games, dude. Like, I just think they're all close. Like, every time these two teams play, it's close. It's personal. Like, nobody lets up.
There will be one. I mean, the 2019 series, that was a knockdown, like, drag-out brawl. I felt like that was, like, both teams taking punches. There was a blowout game in that series. Yeah. Denver blew Portland out once, so I think there's going to be one.
I think there's going to be one each way. I think there's two.
Yep.
I think Denver loses in a blowout.
Yeah, I think Denver wins this series, but I'd be blown away if they don't look bad once.
Yeah.
With the current present personnel.
Yeah. I mean, you just need. Well, this is another one we can get to. Jokic bad games, and when I say bad game, like the bar is so high for him that it's like a below average regular season performance for Jokic would be considered a bad game here. So 0.5. I'll start over here.
0.
0.
You're going under.
I'm going 0.
It's my lock of the show.
0. Absolutely 0.
Dude, yeah. It's Jokic's time. Like, we have entered the age of Jokic. Bad game. I mean, we're going to have to just lift the floor of, like, what a bad game means if we want to be able to say that he's had
like
one.
25, 10, and 8.
Yeah, like a bad game is just, like, not getting the triple-double. So
yeah.
In that case, like, he might have one bad game.
Yeah.
He's going to have no bad games.
Oh, speaking of triple-doubles, Jokic triple-doubles. 1.5. I struggled with this line because he's going to play a lot of minutes, but the triple-doubles haven't been there lately since Murray's out.
I don't think the assists are there.
Guys, there is a really cool guy.
Is there a
with
motorcycle rally
really
on
cool.
York Street right now?
Wow, really loud
Guy's got
motorcycle.
a style.
People are
The
feeling
guy's
it.
got a vibe.
It's summertime, baby.
All the girls in the DNVR bar just ran out there. They're just out the door.
Oh, calm down. Michaela, calm down.
What was I saying?
1.5 triple-doubles, Jokic.
I'd be surprised if it was more than one. The assists just haven't been there.
I'm going to go over. Feeling it. I just think Denver's going to score more than people think.
Yeah.
More than they have, like, since Jamal Murray went down even.
I think assists will actually be up. Like, for me, it's the rebounds because he will be going up against Cantor, who specializes
He's a great
in rebounding.
rebounder.
Cantor. Can't. Or
Nice.
he can't, or he really can't. But, like, I feel like they're going to key in on Jokic, and so he'll distribute the ball. Like, he's going to get a bunch of assists to MPJ. He's going to get a bunch of assists, hopefully, to Aaron Gordon. Like, so that being said, I mean, I think he'll be knocking on the door of a triple-double every game, but because it's Jokic, he'll miss one stat by one. So he'll get, like, I don't know which one it is. Like,
He'll have 0 triple-doubles.
Yeah. He'll get
almost.
one. Maybe he might get 1 or 2 triple-doubles.
Yeah.
He'll get so.
Sombor doubles, is that what we're calling them?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, he'll get a Sombor double every game.
Sombor double, a lock.
7 of them.
Lock.
Shouts to Mislav.
My thing is, I just think at some point this is going to come down to, like, all right, Yoke, just pick up your own pace, beat the double teams, move quicker. Like, we need you to score 30
I feel like there's going to be a stretch every single game where Yoke scores 10 of 12.
Well, here's the thing. This to tell you how I'm feeling about Jokic. I'm going to take the over on triple-doubles. Next one, Jokic, 28 points per game. I'm going to take the over on that, too.
Definitely. Yeah,
28 is a lot. That would be, I think, his highest ever in a playoff.
That's pretty much what he averaged this regular season.
He's gonna live in the 30s.
Yeah, I would take the over on that, too.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
So everybody's feeling Jokic.
You might find this surprising. I'm high on Jokic.
Yeah, you are really high on him.
We're all here in the studio very high on Jokic.
Decent player.
Yeah.
And CBD.
Well, Michael Porter Jr., 23 points per game.
I'll go over. Now, I don't know if you have this as a over-under, but I think there will be a game or two where he struggles.
Okay.
But
I don't.
Okay.
Oh.
But I think he will go over that.
Ooh, you know what? We'll do that next. I'll make one up on the fly.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be over. I mean, this is like a hopeful over because if in fact he is, it spells really good things for the Denver Nuggets. And I don't have any reason to believe that he will back down from the spotlight. But, like, if Michael Porter Jr. steps up and is Michael Porter Jr., like, that's an easy over.
Will Michael Porter have any games? I'll set the line at 0.5 of 20 points or less.
Yes. Yeah. I think he just does have one of those 19-8 games at one point. Whether that's he was less involved or he didn't hit his shot.
19.5 points.
Right. You're like way under. He'll have 19.
No, but you know what I mean. Like when
Totally.
he falls
20
short of
points is honestly like
It's a lot of points, man.
no, but I'm saying
But
like
it's
if you
not
told
a
me
lot.
Michael Porter had 20 points tomorrow night in game 1, I'd be like,
Nuggets probably lose.
I'd be like, I don't know. That doesn't feel great. 20?
But if he does, like, I could just see him having one of those like 19-7 games. You know,
Jokic said he needs 50. He was asked about Michael Porter the other day. He said, what does he need to do? He said, score 50.
I'm like with it. You know.
Well, it's because Jokic is like, I know what it takes to win in the playoffs, and it means you have to have one guy that scores 50 points.
That's true. Like, I do know. A couple times, we're going to need a couple 50-point pieces out of it.
All it takes is a prime Michael Jordan performance from one guy, so it's got to be MPJ.
You want to know something, though? If MPJ had a 50-point game in the playoffs, I wonder if every scoring player on earth is like sign me up for Denver. Jamal Crawford's like, I'll pay you to play for me to sign, because if it becomes a like, as much as this is a credit to Jamal and it would be a credit to Michael if he did this first and foremost, it'd also be like, hey man,
dude, yes,
something to playing with Yoke.
There's something in the water.
Playing with Yoke that gives you 50.
If they're if not only do these individual players get great stats, but the Nuggets are actually threatening to win the championship. That's how you start to get like David Wests and like the Paul
can't wait till we get David West.
You know what I mean? Like you
Who's
get
that
like these
David
guys.
West of this
You get like
next
those
season?
guys.
Paul Millsap, and he's already here.
Somewhere David West just picked Julius Randle to win MVP.
But totally, you get these like stars that are ring chasing. The guys that are like good enough, or like
We're
have
going to
been,
get
like,
Blake
stars.
Griffin next year.
Totally,
apparently.
yes. You get guy like as soon as trade deadline comes around, or just whatever in free like the free agent season, you get like comically low contracts for guys that have been like stars on their team. That have
Is
just
Greg
never-
Monroe still in the league?
No. Can the Nuggets win a game when Porter scores under 20?
It's going to be freaking tough. It would have to be one of those where it's like 90 to 88.
Yeah.
And maybe there is one of those games this series. I wouldn't be surprised. There always seems like there might be.
They
But-
can. I don't think I would predict that, but they can.
Dude, we see games where the Nuggets have like a really balanced effort from their starting unit. We
Yeah.
look at the box score and you just see double digits next to every starter's name, and like that's not uncommon. That's when Jokic is absolutely in his bag and he's just
Right.
like working the offense like a maestro, and he's just getting everybody involved. So I think totally they can. Like, I don't think that that's necessarily their plan, but I mean they have that in them.
I think it would be very hard. I would feel very bad about that, but we'll see. 3-point field goal percentage for Michael Porter, 41.5. It's funny setting this line because what an unrealistic line. But
Laughing out loud.
so for reference, last year he shot 38% from three in the playoffs. Now he shot 41% in the first round, like 30% against the Clippers, and then 41% again against the Lakers in that series. So 41.5% is sort of a high bar. It's basically saying he's going to have the best 3-point shooting playoff series of his career.
I'll go over.
Wow.
Fuck it. I don't think Portland's going to... Yes, they're going to be really focusing on him. But I think he's coming into this series really confident.
Yeah.
That's the sense I get. He's in a really good headspace. He's excited.
I too think he is a confident player.
He's confident, and he's just ready to go, man. I think he's just ready to freaking go.
Wow. I'm buying stonks, man. I'm excited. I'm with Harrison. I think he's ready. I'm ready to watch it. I'll take the over, at least in this series. Maybe
Sure,
not
yeah.
the whole playoffs,
This series, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, but it's just 2 words, I guess. Yeah, Mike. Let's go, dude. He can absolutely
heard
do
of it.
this. He can absolutely do this. Like, if they start to shut down his 3-pointer, it's just because they have somebody crowding him up on the line. But he's no stranger to shooting 3-pointers in transition. He's no stranger to, like finding other ways to get it off. Like, I just think that if he finds open looks, he can knock them down. Like, there's a good chance that there won't be as many 3-point opportunities for him because he'll focus in on it. But like, I mean, you talk about a dead-eye shooter.
Yeah, I think I might go a little bit under on this. I think the volume is going to be extreme, and so I could
better
see
You
it.
do think it'll be...
And to be honest with you, I kind of think the volume is more important than the accuracy. Like, look, he's got to be above 38%, but if he shot 39%, but it was on like 11 threes, I'd be like, okay, that's great. That's perfect. That'd be better than if he shot 44% on 7 threes, to me. It just means he's getting open. He's creating that gravity, whatever. So I feel good about that one. Aaron Gordon, 12 points per game. I set this high. I think he's going to be
12.
12's a lot. He's averaging 10 for the Nuggets in the season.
Oh, over. Definitely over.
Did I set it too low?
Why is
No,
that
I
win?
don't know.
Is that Gordon steps it up, or Denver finds ways to get Gordon involved that we hadn't seen as much?
I just think he's going to have to be involved. Like, there's just really not that many other options. I think he knows it. The coaching staff knows they need to get him going. I think, like Adam said, they're going to try to run some stuff through him, get him to the line early, get him some easy buckets. I think it's over.
No.
Yeah, we saw Aaron Gordon when he was like really energized when he first arrived here, and he was an offensive force. Like, he was cutting a lot. He was at the rim. He was also shooting, which comes with confidence. And we know that he's been able to do it. Like, I just think that he's been a little dormant because he hasn't had to be the whole team on his back. Like, and he's been coasting a little bit. But I mean, I think like we're going to see a keyed up version of Aaron Gordon. Like, and with that is going to come offensive production. So yeah, I'm going to go over too. Like, I don't know. I don't expect him to score 18 points a game or anything, but like, 14 points.
Yeah, I don't think 14, 15's out of the question.
I'm taking the way over 15, 16 because I actually think he will be pretty pivotal. I'm so curious to see how he rebounds in this series. I think it'll be a key for him. He hasn't like blown me away with his rebounding, but there's going to be a lot of rebounds to be had from him.
A lot of jump shots from Portland.
Oh, but not even just that. I'm talking even more about so much emphasis is going to be on Jokic, who's out on the perimeter, Michael Porter, who's out on the perimeter. So now it's like there's going to be a lot of rebounding battles that are between Dame, CJ, Powell, Gordon, Facu, and guard X for Denver. And it's like Gordon is by far the biggest, strongest, most athletic of all of those guys. So there's going to be a lot of, hey, there's opportunity for you to really feast down there.
It might be the barometer, too, for his gear, as we've talked about, Like, because there's no wing for him to really, so what does it look like AG really turned it on?
He
Maybe
can
it's just that. Maybe
he can win
dominates
over a
the
lot of
glass.
fans, man, tomorrow night. Just come out with some energy. Facu 3-point field goal percentage. I'm going to set it at 39%. Under.
All right, here's the argument. I'm going to take the under 2. Here's the argument. The argument is they will all be wide open. Like, almost all of them.
Yeah.
And he was more or less a 40% shooter when wide open this season. And Argentina will tell you it's playoffs. Get ready for clutch vodka.
Let's go.
I'm going to take the under on this, but it's like a 37-38, not like 34-35.
What would give you more confidence tomorrow night, assuming the Nuggets win the game? Jokic goes for 40, Michael Porter goes for 35, or Facu goes 4 for 4 from 3?
Michael Porter goes
Michael
for 35.
Porter, absolutely.
Okay.
The Facu stuff always feels like just like an added bonus.
Yeah, it's like, okay, it just happened.
It's like, oh yeah, awesome, but you can't count on it.
Yeah. Facu foul outs, 0.5.
Over. I think he'll get one.
I'm going to go under. I don't know. Has he fouled out much this year?
Well, part of this question is if you get 2, like Malone will sit you get 2 more and sit you again. Like,
that's just it. Is that
Facu might play 40 minutes tomorrow night.
yeah, he really might.
Oh my god.
He might have to.
Can you believe that? 40 minutes.
For Eric, what's the over/under on AG throw game?
It's got to be. I mean, the over under is
Gotta be
1,
kinda
but it
high.
better be under.
He's in
AG.
he's in the fro right now.
He is
Currently,
Yeah, but
as we
that's-
speak.
No, but
This is
I'm
what
telling
you
you,
do.
like this
Right.
is
off day fro.
he's about like he's getting braided right now. I
Right,
guarantee.
probably.
This is and Jokic is getting a haircut. Like they're,
Yeah.
they're prepping for war. They're
Yeah.
like painting.
They're all
like,
getting haircuts in the locker room right now.
Totally.
In a circle. Together.
Yeah.
Bonding.
I think Facu fouls out a couple times, or if not fouls out, is in foul trouble. Like Damian Lillard, man. Look, here's the thing: Argentina is going to like storm Adam Silver's offices in Secaucus, right?
Yeah.
There's just going to be they're going to be furious because Damian Lillard, superstar, Facu, nobody knows his name. He's going to have a tough time, and Facu's done a great job. But I'm telling you,
know his
prepare
name.
yourself now.
They're about to know his name.
About
And
to know.
Facu also, he mentioned how he's a little nervous, a little anxious. He's gonna be so hyped up for this game. I'm expecting Facu to come out there and just slap the floor or something.
I'm
First,
telling
might
you.
have a
possession.
dunk or something, or like just jumping so high.
Gamers love high pressure situation.
Yeah.
Facu
Yeah.
is nothing short of a gamer. He's Tim
Right.
Tebow.
But he might be a little too hyped up. I'm saying.
I don't think so, man. Like this is not his first rodeo. Like,
That's a good point, Eric.
This
His
is
first NBA rodeo, but he's an
this is. I
experienced
mean,
player.
give me a break. Like if he was, a rookie, first time coming. Like Michael Porter Jr., we don't quite know how he's going to react in this situation because he's not been in these high leverage situations in his career for a variety of reasons. Facu has played exclusively in these high pressure situations.
Also, Argentina, just so you know, Secaucus, you can skip it.
Yeah,
Not a lot to see there except a room with a bunch of TVs.
Yeah, just so you know, Secaucus, exactly how it sounds.
So before we take our last break here, I do kind of want to ask. So I don't want to ask. It is a legacy question, I guess, a little bit. But what does this series mean for Jokic? What is at stake for Jokic personally? He's going to be the MVP. The ballots are almost all out now. Like he's going to have. I think there's 110 ballots or something like that. I'll bet you he has over 100 first place votes
for sure. We know we meet like the people who have publicly stated that they.
I think there's one non-Yoke. So far, I thought it was Reggie Miller.
It was Reggie Miller, but we don't even know that he has a vote. We don't know that he has a vote.
Question.
Yeah.
I could say I'm voting for.
Of course. I thought it was that Reggie had one.
So
either way, like, what does it mean for you?
So we have started. We are in the age of Jokic. This is the beginning of the age of Jokic, where he is not just another little footnote. He's a cute little story. Like he is, and especially if and when he wins this MVP award, like now he is truly like all eyes are on him. He's been disparaged by a lot of people in the media that just sort of like can't wrap their head around the idea about a guy that they never watch play is actually good. So now he's in center stage. It doesn't matter for his career. It doesn't matter for anything other than just like getting that sweet revenge and like that I told you so, and that like feeling of like, all right, this guy is now made. Like he's now off limits. You can't like talk about that he's overrated or he's just like he's a blog boy darling or like this is Jokic's opportunity to just shut mouths and like get people to appreciate the phenom and the gift that he is to basketball itself. And so, and I have no doubt that he'll do it. But this doesn't have anything to do with his legacy because he's going to do the same thing next year. He's going to be in the conversation every year moving forward until we start talking about Jokic voter fatigue.
Yeah. I do think he's under a little pressure just because he is the MVP and there's a certain level of expectations you place on the MVP in a playoff setting. Like he's got to be great. He's got to be the best player in this series or else there will be a little bit of disappointment because he's been so good this regular season. Even without Jamal Murray, even with how shorthanded the Nuggets are, I still think, there is pressure on Jokic to be, like I said, hands down the best player in the series. Now, I have 100% confidence he will do that because every time he's been tested, every time there's been expectations placed on him, he's risen to the moment. He's exceeded them. So I think he will, but I do think there is some pressure on him to be great.
I agree with everything Wynn just said. I know. I'm saying that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure. I don't think it's funny because sometimes you're like, do this and it'll become undeniable. Like LeBron, as recently as 2-3 years ago, people would be like, I don't know if he could actually come through. Like, there's always going to be deniers because there's money made to be the guy, the carnival barker that's selling you on something. But I do think that it's just another one that goes a long way if he can not just win the series, lead Denver to the series, but sort of a convincingly so. If you can sit there and say Portland, who now has a healthy roster and built the roster to be exactly what it is, they made all these moves. If they can't beat a Denver team that is like so far from what they thought they were going to have this year, if you can overcome that, then it really is one of those things where it's like, hey, Jokic is good enough to beat like the best laid plans of all but maybe 5 teams, and it would be a big deal. So.
Whereas if he falls short in round 1, he's a fraud for 3 months.
People will say, "Hey,
that's it."
That it's not fair, but the takes are going to be insufferable
because people have really sort of staked their reputations on betting against Jokic at this point. Like Nick Wright has now built at least this small portion of his career on needing to be right that Jokic. It's silly to anoint Jokic MVP because he's unworthy of it.
Yeah. The Nuggets have an opportunity, and I don't know if they're thinking about this. I doubt they are. I certainly am, though. They have an opportunity to just end the Portland Trailblazers as we know them.
Yeah.
Like, they have an opportunity to potentially break up Dame and CJ.
Yeah, that's true.
They have an opportunity to send the Blazers into a head coaching search this summer, to totally overhaul their roster. They really have a chance to just totally break apart Portland.
Oh, my God.
Which would
Speaking
be
my
crazy.
language. Everything I'm looking for in life.
What does this series mean for MPJ?
Dude, I mean, look, we'll start. Should MPJ fall short of what we're all hoping for this series? What does it mean for MPJ? Nothing if he approaches
I
that
agree.
offseason the right way, right?
It's fuel. If he
It's
fails,
fuel
it's
for the fire, and we all have said we think he's that kind of guy. That said, his season. This was a coming out party this season. We saw people publicly say, I have changed my mind on Michael Porter Jr. If he comes out and is the third best player in this series, this is an offseason. MPJ evolves completely from blue chip to borderline all-star, if not already an all-star.
Oh man, you know what? It is funny to think about. This is you saying this made me realize. You lose this series, I think him being an all-star next year is so hard. It's already hard just because of how many players are out there. You got Luka, you got LeBron, you got so many players out west. But if you lose this series, I think it's off. He could average 30 points a game next year, and they'd be like, yeah, but I still Kawhi Leonard, is a champion, whatever, this or that. If you win this series and you win it because you had a great series, his odds of making an all-star game next year go up so much.
Yeah.
This is weirdly maybe the most important thing for whether or not he will be an all-star next year will be this series.
Which is so wrong, but
Of course it is, but
it's
how
so
it works.
right
It's how it
at the
works.
same
so
time.
wrong, so wrong, but it's so right. Just like
Look at
everything
that.
good in life.
Right on time. Evan McKee said the exact same thing. If MPJ wants to be an all-star next season,
And he
it
really
starts-
does.
It
like,
starts right now.
guarantee you.
Starts
Yeah.
with this round.
I mean, look, man, if he has a great playoffs and then all of a sudden the Nuggets aren't going to miss Jamal Murray nearly as much next season, that's going to be huge.
Yeah.
He Michael Porter Jr. will have the opportunity to help carry Denver for the first 3-4 months of the regular season next year.
Yeah.
And if he has a great playoffs, that makes that much easier, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the start for him of real narrative legacy building.
Yep.
He's nominated for the most improved player. He is
Which second-year players never get nominated for.
Yeah. And he has everything working for him. It's going to happen for Michael Porter Jr. He's going to be an all-star. He's going to be, a top team NBA player year after year. He's going to be in that discussion. It's just how quickly does this rocket ship get off the ground?
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's take our final break. On the other side, I think our guest is here. So on the other side, we'll
I
have.
always get kicked out for these
They
guys.
do always get kicked out, but we will miss you. Harrison, take us to break, and we're going to talk to a Portland fan about just what they think of this Nuggets team.
All right, guys, it's time to hammer the over again on DraftKings. And what that pretty much means is it's time to just win free money. Just
Ooh.
absolute free money. So you guys know about Hammer the Over. DraftKings pretty much picks one game. This week, I think it's the Mavs-Clippers game. And you just bet on the over. For the more people that bet on the over, the lower the line drops. So now it's down to 50 points or something. So it's going to go over. It's a free chance to win just some money. So go to DraftKings.com, hammer the over, and win some free money. Like I said, for every bettor who hammers the over in the featured game, that point total drops. Like I said, it's already down pretty low. So make sure to download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code DNVR when you sign up to hammer the over. For every 1,500 people that bet the over in that featured game, the line will decrease by 1 point. So it's already down super low. Tell your friends, tell your family, get in on this. It's free money. That's promo code DNVR on DraftKings Sportsbook for a limited time. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. Restrictions apply. Max $25 wager. One per customer. Offer ends May 23rd, 2021. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And if you're not in on Hassel Cattle Company yet, you guys are missing out. They've got the best Wagyu
We're doing,
beef
I
around.
think, the fourth company order.
Yeah,
right now.
every couple weeks in the Slack, it's who wants Hassel Cattle Company? Get in on this
We're
order.
doing it again.
Blue collar
Yeah.
beef, baby.
Yeah,
Get in
but
on this.
we do group orders at DNVR. You can do group orders with your friends as well if you don't want to go all in on it by yourself.
Otherwise, just get a backup freezer. Backup freezer is so clutch.
Right, that's a sign you're
Best
full dad status when you
Telling
have
you.
the freazer in the garage.
The garage freezer
Yeah.
it's clutch, man.
Yeah, I want
You
that.
go shopping once a year.
Yeah, I want that. But Hassel Cattle Company, they've also got this deal going right now where DNVR listeners buy 3, get 1 free on their flank steaks. So you can buy 3 flank steaks, get 1 free. To get that, use code DNVR FLANK at checkout. That's code DNVR FLANK at checkout. Buy 3, get 1 free. Also use code DNVR10 for 10% off. Hassel Cattle Company. And finally, I'm going to go here right after we get off this show. Illegal Pete's. They got a bunch of locations in Denver. They've got one just a couple blocks from the DNVR bar on Colfax. And they've got tons of deals going on. Awesome happy hour. They've got 32-ounce margs. They've got $1 all drafts from 3 to 6 every day. $1 off house and coin style margs. So stop into Illegal Pete's. Great burritos, great nachos, great bowls.
Queso.
Yeah, the queso. Oh, just incredible.
I'm going to go right after this show.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm going to join you. But yeah, make sure to check out Illegal Pete's. Tons of locations all across Denver.
All right, we're nice enough. A Blazers fan came in, flew all the way in. Come on in, Blerick. It's good to meet you. Checking in with a Portland fan. Hey,
What up?
Hey,
Oh,
hey
hey, what's up,
there.
bro? Yeah.
Hey, Blazers.
What's up, bro?
Blazers. Blerick here is here.
What's up, bros?
It's good to see you. Thanks for coming into Denver for this.
Yeah, what else was I going to do?
Did you hitchhike here?
No, me and my bros are playing a little sack up in Washington Park around
Around the sack, were you?
around the roses. That's what we love to do.
Little slacklining.
Hey, we all got some growlers,
Okay.
some voodoo donuts, and we went sick.
Yeah.
It's a paper mustard.
What are you talking about, bro?
Wow. So tell us, what is your sort of take on this series? Nuggets, Blazers, just
Listen, we got the best player in the world, Yusuf Nurkic.
okay. All right.
Dame's in there, CJ's in there. Tell me who's going to stop us. I know we get stopped every year, but I think this year will be different.
Do you feel like this is a battle of good versus evil at all?
Completely. I mean, I don't mind taking on the mantle of evil here because whom's amongst us could have any quarrels with Nikola Jokic? But definitely, we're a little evil. Is that my fault? No.
Did he with that you guys have any questions?
Well, a little off the wall here, not so much basketball. I was just curious for your thoughts on voodoo donuts.
Listen, bro, voodoo donuts are for the tourists, my man. If you're not eating Blue Star, what are you eating?
Wow, very, very good.
Have you found any good coffee places in Denver, or does the coffee just not even stack up to Portland?
I mean, listen, I'm a little offended, number one. Of course it doesn't stack up to Portland. I mean, granted, we're not Seattle. We're Seattle's little brother. We're always referred to as sort of the Wyoming to Seattle's New York or Colorado, as it were. I'm comfortable with it. It's something I've adjusted to and moved on. We're not really known for our coffee, but we still like it. I mean, better than you guys.
Yeah. Wow. Is there? I guess this is. Just do you have a prediction for the series?
Oh yeah, dude. Listen, like I said, me and my bros got a few growlers. Played some board games last night. We really chopped it up.
Some board games, yeah.
We don't like to go outside. I don't know if you know that about us. It's raining a lot.
It's raining a lot.
So we were giving each other tattoos. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Okay, all right.
And I think it's a pretty clear Portland in 3.
Portland in 3. Wow, it's gonna be Blazers in 3.
Portland in 3, and then you got a couple days to play some frisbee golf.
What do you mean a couple days? We're doing it during the games, right?
So Dame is not going to win the MVP this season.
Says you.
Will he be the MVP of this series?
I mean, how many ways can I say yes, my man? He's Dame, dude. It's Dame time. Dame time. Generally, Dame time ends 2 rounds of the playoffs, but it's Dame time right now.
I can't believe this mustache.
Who is the
What are
Portland?
you talking about, man?
who is the Portland Trailblazers X factor in this series?
Portland Trailer. I would say it's the strip clubs in and around Portland. There's quite a few of them. We're known for it. For some reason, they're the most densely populated area of strip clubs in the country. You can look that up. It's true. Will our players be able to stay focused with all of that outside influence? I don't think so. So there's no X factor.
Okay.
I mean, truly, it's going to be our off-season acquisition. It's going to be what's his name? Our defensive Robert Covington.
Yeah,
for sure. I love him so much. I can't stop thinking about him. And it's going to be our beloved Yusuf Nurkic. It's going to be that Balkan battle, formerly the Balkan Buddies. We're going to see what what our man Nurk has for Jokic, I imagine it's not going to be too much. I'll be embarrassed by it, but what are you going to do?
Well, Blarick, it was really good for you to fly in.
I appreciate it, bro. If you want to go in on a growler, you let me know.
I'll let you know if I want to go in on a growler. Can you go ahead and bring Eric back? And he's off camera. Can you just bring him back? We appreciate it. Everybody, thank you. Thank you, Blarick. We love you, Portland. Well, that was as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Why do we just give Eric green lights?
He bought into the Portland persona a little too much. It was a little too natural for him, I think.
Kelly, you can go ahead and hey, Eric, thanks, man. We just had a really, really strange person here. It is time though to celebrate something Eric really is pissed that we have brought everyone's attention to, and that is that Eric is getting older today.
Older.
We're not going to say how old he is, but it's pretty old. It is 43. He's an old man. But we're very excited that he's still alive, and so excited that we got him a little something. Kel, I thought this whole time I've been stalling for you to bring in the gift.
Does Kale even know about
We'll do
the
it
gift?
live.
Have you not checked your messages here? There's you know what? We have a cake for you.
We'll
We'll do it later.
Wait, where is it?
Is this? Am I waiting to get a cake
Well,
put in my face? 'Cause
Yeah, that's all it was. We bought you a little cake. Actually, Harrison did. I don't want to take credit for it. Hey, there it is. Oh, look at that cake.
A Boston,
big
Boston
cake.
cream.
He even left the Boston cream. He even left the price on just so you could know your worth to us.
It was a $9 cake.
It was a $9
Not even
cake.
gonna front
We love you, bro.
from
Thanks,
Safeway.
man.
Hey, thanks for
appreciate
all the DNVR thing, but also being a part of the Nuggets beat, man. You're the best.
Listen, guys, nothing makes me happier than talking about the Nuggets. I would do it with or without you, but it's so much better with you. You guys have enriched my life.
Are you talking about the
DNVR is
crowd
best
or
thing that's
us?
ever happened to me.
Yeah, I can't tell he's speaking.
I'm talking
he's
to
talking
you
to
guys
them.
through because it's
Okay.
weird if, and I'm also talking to the chat. DNVR is the best thing that ever happened to me. This is very meaningful. Not this birthday. This is just signaling I'm going to die, which I'm comfortable with. But also, let's go Nuggets.
Let's go! Nuggets!
Big requests for Eric to do a birthday Rakia shot. How would
Oh
Wow.
It is a Friday. I'll take one with you, bro.
Do a shot with a cake chaser.
Yeah, that
I'll
sounds great,
take
man.
one with you
Boston
too.
cream to
Well,
watch
F it. I'm not going to let you guys drink Rakia without me.
Yeah, come on.
Kel.
Come on.
Hey, Kel. Oh, man. Stop.
I thought you'd be a Boston
stalling.
cream
All
cake
All right,
kind of guy.
Here's a stall. Shout out the
I
5 or
knew it.
6 Portland fans in the chat today. Thanks for being good sports for that.
We're good sports.
Listen,
I always
listen.
love that, man. I
Yeah,
love that.
seriously.
That
we do love
Blarick
it.
guy's a real dick, but I've spent a lot of time in Portland in my life.
It's a cool city.
Honestly a city that I considered moving to
Yeah, it's
many
awesome.
times.
a cool
Some of
city.
my best friends on earth live in Portland. I've had a great time there. And
Sure.
if I will say, like, Portland, the team, the basketball team, understands culture better than any other
Totally.
team, maybe outside of Brooklyn in the league. And Brooklyn gets it. Like
Yeah,
they're new, they're a new brand, but they get it. Like they
Yeah.
absolutely
Okay.
get it. Like,
Okay.
and so I'm always envious of that. The Nuggets, I feel like, are finally sort of understanding who their actual fan base is. But
Maybe.
I will, Portland. I'll give you that. You look good. You lose well. Let's go.
Like, there's probably
You
going
didn't
to be
expect
some
it to be a full-on
yeah.
compliment. Yeah, it was so close.
There's going to be some contentious moments between Nuggets and,
Oh, dude,
and
are you
Blazers
kidding? It's
fans
gonna get
over
so
the next
ugly.
couple weeks. But,
I'll apologize now
Right.
for anything.
but
that's said.
but at the end of it, I think we can go to Portland. They can come to Denver, and we can hang out.
It's like
when it's over.
indistinguishable when a person from Portland is in Denver or vice versa.
I used to always say, and you can
That's
take
how I would have made fun of the Denver guy. The same segment.
when I used to always go to Portland, I was like, wow, Portland's amazing. It's basically Denver without a job.
All right, let's raise our glasses. Givali.
Givali.
To 43 more years.
Into the fray once more, my friends. Here comes the playoffs. Let's go, Nikola Jokic. And let's
Into
go
the fray.
DNVR.
Was that a Denver thing?
That's a Shakespeare thing. Let's go.
Oh, okay.
Burn so good.
That was good.
43
Good night, Serbia. Good morning, Australia. Good afternoon, everybody. See you later.